Hi everyone, my name is Rose Luczaj.
My name is Becca Melkonian.
And we are the writers of the musical comedy Dentures.
And my name is Brooke Sanders. I'm the lyricist.
Hello, I'm Anthony Johnson, and I am the composer.
And I am Riley, and I am the director of Dentures.
And over at the piano is Jayla McLennan, who is the music director for Dentures.
Interior, church nave, midday. Shelly Harstein, 87, sits alone in the first pew in a dark traditional church. We hear an organ drone in the background. The rest of the pews are nearly full as people of all ages clad in black garments mill about to find a seat. Dale, 50, genuflects and slides into the pew beside his mother.
How you doing, Mom?
Fine.
The organ drone fades as the priest approaches the pulpit.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today in memory of a wonderful and devoted father, mentor, and friend, Edward Harstein. Most of us knew him as Eddie.
You would have hated all of this sappiness.
Just be in the moment, Mom.
Who picked these flowers, anyway? Seems awfully tacky for a funeral.
I did. You wanted no part of it.
Well, how many decisions are you gonna make for me now, huh?
Speaking of which, there's something I have to tell you after the Mass.
Shelley is about to retort when the priest interrupts.
We ask his son Dale now to come up and say a few words.
My Eddie, who would have laughed at this crap? Would have chuckled out. Look at that sap. I tried to tell our son, this isn't what you'd want, Eddie. But he stopped paying attention when I started collecting my pension. He thinks turning gray means turning my life away.
Cut to interior church vestibule, midday. Shelley and Dale stand in the church entrance as attendees exit, offering their condolences to the family. As the final guests leave, Shelley turns to Dale.
I can't believe the Appletons showed their face here. After all that happened.
I'm sure they meant well.
The road to hell is paved with good intentions. All right, poor timing, I suppose. Say, what is it you wanted to tell me?
Oh, yes, Mom. I pulled some strings and was able to get you into one of the best convalescent homes around.
You did not!
I sure did.
Dale! I don't want to be holed up in some nursing home. My son. My own son. I can't believe my son thinks this is what I want. Next he'll send my things off to Vermont. And what can I do now that you've bid me do? And I'm all on my own with just my moans and groans. Does turning gray mean turning my life away?
What? Mom, you'll love it. I know it. It's called Magnolia Meadows. And they have so many wonderful activities and people.
Those places are full of pretentious geezers who'd rather be waiting on hand and foot than tend to a house. And I have a house. Beautiful, beautiful house.
It's now on the market. Mom, I'm taking care of all that, I promise.
You know, you have some nerve. I don't want to go to Magnolia Meadows. What kind of name is that, anyways? I bet all the people there are just painfully optimistic. And you know how I feel about toxic positivity.
The nurse I talked with sounds just lovely. Her name is Lori. She'll take care of you right when you get there.
Lori sounds perky. Sounds like she'd speak like... Sherry.
Magnolia Meadows continuous. The inside of the home has two staircases on either side of a balcony with a chandelier hanging from above. The employees at the concierge desk smile and wave enthusiastically.
When you're over the hill, oh please, you'll just love it here. Our community is great. Oh, I'm sure. Honest and sincere. From chess club to bingo to our geriatric
This
ball,
can't be
our
serious.
activities committee offers something for us.
Sounds awful.
If retirement is getting you down, come join the hippest grannies in town.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Magnolia.
Welcome to Magnolia. It's the perfect place for you to live out your years.
Oh, please.
Hearing how happy the residents are, it's music to my ears. You can join a knitting circle or learn to sew a quilt. If I let you live alone, I'll be riddled with guilt. Open up your mind, you may like what you find. Come on, Mom, just give it a chance. The paperwork's already filled out. They're ready for you to move in.
But Dale, you aren't listening to me. How many times do I have to tell you this is not what I don't want to. Is anybody listening to me?
Welcome to Magnolia.
Shut your hearing!
Welcome to Magnolia. Welcome to Magnolia.
Lori shows Shelly to her new room, leaving her and Dale to recover from the aftermath of their welcome. Interior, Shelly's room, morning. The room is a plain but small, spacious apartment with off-white walls and a popcorn ceiling.
Did you hear all the wonderful events that Lori was talking about? Bingo, chess, even a geriatric ball. I wonder if they have Walker disco.
I don't want anything to do with walkers. You understand me?
I can just picture Shelly Hartstein busting a move on the dance floor.
If I dance, the only thing busting would be my knee.
Well, Mom, this is it. Your new home.
I'd hardly call it that.
I bet you're hungry. You'll feel better after you eat, I'm sure. How about this? I'll go check out the food situation and you can get settled into your room.
Dale doesn't wait for a response as he exits, shutting the door behind him. For the first time, Shelly feels small and completely out of control. But an eager knock at the door interrupts her wallowing. She walks over to answer it.
Can't believe he's back already. Thinks I can't do anything for myself. I'm a pain in the...
She opens the door, and much to her surprise, the person standing before her is not Dale, but Margie, 88, an unfamiliar face.
Well, howdy, neighbor. I'm Margie.
No thanks. I don't want any Girl Scout cookies today.
Shelly tries to shut the door, but Margie sticks her foot in the doorway to stop her.
A comedian, I see. Well, I'm always in the mood for a friendship that can tickle my funny bone.
Margie brushes past Shelly and enters the room.
I doubt I'll be sticking around long enough to make any friends, thank you.
Oh, no, what's that supposed to mean? You just got here. You haven't even had time to make yourself at home.
This is not my home. I have a home. It has a big yard and a jacuzzi and crown molding in every single room. You know, that wasn't the cheapest investment, but Eddie was right. It certainly upgraded the place.
Eddie?
My husband. He passed away a few weeks ago, and ever since then, my son has been absolutely intolerable.
Well, we all grieve in different ways.
I'd hardly call selling your childhood home and shipping your mother off to Magnolia Meadows a healthy form of grieving.
Well, you're lucky you have someone in your life who cares about you enough to bring you here. I wish I had that kind of person.
You mean you came here on your own? Nobody put you here?
Something like that.
The conversation is interrupted by Dale bursting into the room with a tray of food.
Sorry, Mom. I got caught up talking to Lori. I signed you up for her knitting class tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, trust me, honey, you do not want to be part of the knitting circle. No, ma'am.
A friend already. Look at you.
More of an acquaintance.
I'm Shelly's neighbor, Margie, actually.
I knew you'd love it here. I'll leave you both to it. I'll be back in 2 days to visit again. Love ya.
Shelly tries to catch his attention as he exits, but it's too late. He's already out the door.
That's the intolerable one.
Unfortunately. Say, what's the deal with the knitting club?
Cut to interior Magnolia Meadows, day. Shelly and Margie wander the halls of Magnolia Meadows, passing different activity rooms.
The knitting circle is filled with a bunch of phonies. They make things for the nurses for an extra pudding cup at dinner. Now, I say you can't knit a scarf, but you can't knit a good personality.
Through a doorway, Shelly sees a bunch of ladies knitting. The woman at the head of the table, Ethel, 88, glares at her.
Sorry, we're not accepting new members right now. I'm having enough trouble coaching these ones as it is.
She's not interested, don't you worry, Ethel.
What? Cat's got your tongue? You're not gonna let Margie, of all people, speak for you now, are you?
Come on, Shelly, let's go.
I think I'm gonna go back to my room.
She begins to walk away before Margie responds.
Will I see you at dinner tonight, neighbor?
Shelly ignores the question and continues. Suddenly, she snags her foot and trips, nearly falling. She looks down and reaches to pick up what she fell on, a chess pawn. As she regains her balance, she looks up to see she's surrounded by concerned nurses. Lori rushes up.
Miss Harstein, are you all right?
You're lucky I'm so spry and agile. Any other one of these oldies would have taken quite the tumble.
Who you calling old?
Well, I'm glad you're okay. Do you need an ice pack, aspirin, anything?
A one-way ticket home would be fantastic.
Well, if you need anything, all you have to do is holler.
As Lori and the nurses disperse, Shelly brushes herself off and looks at the pawn in her hand.
All that attention just for one little trip.
She walks over to a nearby chess table to return the pawn to its rightful owner.
By the way, I would castle your king.
Ah, that's a beginner's move. Stay in your lane, newbie. This game is for the experts.
Shelly starts to walk back to her room.
Guess I'll just play my own game then.
As Shelly retreats, chess player 2 examines chess player 1's side of the board.
She was right, you know.
Interior, Shelly's room, early evening. Shelly bursts through the door of her room.
So that's how they react when I barely even fall. I wonder what they do if I were caught in a nasty brawl. They won't catch me playing chess on a board with the queen. I'll be cooking up my mess, playing the biggest game this place has ever seen. I'm lying in wait, and they're all my little pawns. And when I catch them by surprise, checkmate, and in an hour I'll be humbled and gone. They think I'm over the hill, they think I'm past my prime. Well, what comes next they'll never expect. It's Granny Shelly's time.
Interior, hallway, next day. Shelly peers from around the corner at the knitting club. She sees Ethel bossing around the other knitting ladies. Shelly takes note.
I'll start by finding a scapegoat, someone who I can blame. I'll say she's so cutthroat, she's picking on me, and laugh when she gets the blame. Then I'll need to stage a mishap to make them all freak out. As I cry, they'll come falling into my trap as I point my finger at old Miss Sprout.
She turns around and starts walking down the hall, stops and sees a big poster that says, "Open sock hop, shoes required."
They think I'm over the hill. They think I'm past my prime. Well, what comes next they'll never expect. It's Granny Shelly's time. I'm gonna find my way home to my beautiful, beautiful home, where I've spent many years full of laughter and cheer. I'm completely sincere to say I'm getting out of here. And if they think I'm playing chess, they better know that I'm the queen. 'Cause while I'm cooking up my mess, they're watching the greatest feat this place has ever seen. If they think that I'm so feeble, I'll smile as my old
Interior hallway, early evening. Shelly walks through the halls of Magnolia Meadows, passing by a wall of framed photos of the previous kings and queens of the geriatric ball. The last photo is of the reigning couple, Ethel and Carl, 90. Interior, lobby, continuous. The line for the sock hop spills into the lobby, with Shelly begrudgingly joining the slow-moving crowd, deliberately keeping to herself.
I heard Joanne is going to start her own beginner's knitting club. You know, for anyone who can't take the heat under the current president.
I didn't know Mr. Biden took up knitting.
Not that president, I mean Ethel.
Oh, yeah, she's never gonna let that fly.
I would join Joanne's knitting club. That sounds fun.
You're new here, right? You don't want to go destroying your social life before it even begins.
I've had a social life for the past 80 years. Trust me, it's not for me.
Seemingly, out of nowhere, Carl appears beside Shelly.
I've never been much of a social butterfly myself. More of a caterpillar. or a morph. My name's Carl.
King of last year's geriatric ball, Carl.
A fan? I do autographs if you'd like.
An autograph for me? I think not.
Playing hard to get, I see. I've known many like you. They all come around eventually. Even my wife, Ethel, resisted my charm at first.
Almost as if she was summoned by the mention of her own name, Ethel appears beside the two.
Carl, come on. We can cut the line. Privileges of the king and queen. No need to fraternize with the peasants.
She pulls at the cuff of his sleeve, trying to drag him away.
I'll save a dance for you.
Confident that the pieces of her plan are falling into place, she keeps to herself as the line inches forward. Suddenly, Margie appears beside Shelly.
Hey, Shell. Can I call you Shell?
Gosh, why do you keep sneaking up on me? And please, don't. Nobody calls me that.
Some neighborly advice, Shell. Steer clear of Carl.
Actually, I was planning on riding into the sunset with him, but now that you say something...
You're so bitter. Like a bad butterscotch.
I don't have time to be pleasant. Tonight's the night I get out of here.
And how do you plan on doing that?
You'll see.
Shell?
Shelly.
Shelly! I really don't think stirring the pot is a great idea.
Don't you worry about a thing. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Before Margie can get another word in, Shelly walks through the door at the sock hop. Interior, community room, early evening. Shelly slyly makes her way to the punch bowl and pulls a flask from inside her cardigan pocket. She empties it into the punch bowl and throws the flask under the table to discard the evidence. She stirs the punch with a ladle, and as she lifts it to pour herself a cup, she notices a set of dentures cradled in the utensil. Carl joins her at the refreshment table.
I've been looking for those.
Clearly you haven't been looking very hard.
Shelly thrusts the ladle into Carl's hands, eager to get rid of its contents.
I tend to misplace things. Everyone has their own glass slipper. It just takes a Prince Charming to get it back to the rightful owner.
Carl pops the dentures back into his mouth.
It's just right.
By process of elimination, I deduce I'm the charming one here.
And that would make me Cinderella. Say, my fairy godmother granted me a wish, and I've been waiting for the right moment to cash it in.
And when might that be?
Now seems rather appropriate.
Carl swings his walker in between him and Shelly.
Your pumpkin carriage awaits!
Accepting the walker as an olive branch, Shelly and Carl make their way to the dance floor. Shelly leads the way, weaving through a throng of people and sliding up beside Ethel and Carl at her side.
Grab your steady and hit the floor. Do up. Put your arms to the right and count to 4. Do up. Raise your life alert bracelets high. Party like you're 65. Do up. Everybody, let's do the jive.
The residents continue dancing. Ethel and Carl are dancing together. Shelly positions herself near them, looking for her opportunity to get between them.
Ladies to the left, fellas to the right. Do up. Grab a new partner, don't put up a fight. Do up. Twist and shout, don't let your teeth fall out. Do up. Dance together like we're 65. Everybody, let's do the jive.
now partnered up and are dancing together. Ethel is eyeing them suspiciously.
You're looking mighty swell. I like your musty smell.
I wanna take you out for a decaf coffee, no doubt.
Carl! You know you're here with me. I'm your wife, your whole life.
All he knows, he just groaned that he wishes you just leave him alone.
Ethel continuously inserts her walker in between Shelly and Carl's feet.
Twist and shout and break it down. Do up, grab a money stash and hit the town. Do up, dancing all heat tonight. Do up, partying like we're 65. Let's boogie and break and do the jive.
Shelly, seeing this as the perfect opportunity to execute her plan, stumbles over the walker leg, throwing herself gracefully onto the ground with a shriek. Interior, Shelly's room, night. Shelly sits on her bed, a cold compress over her knee, and her back propped up by a stack of pillows. Lori sits at her bedside, fluffing the comforter. They hear a knock at the door. Lori opens the door to see Dale.
Mom, I came as soon as I heard. How are you feeling?
Dreadful.
Miss Harstein had a little, stumble on the dance floor at our
A
sock hop.
stumble? I was pushed!
The doctor said she'll be fine, just a bruise.
A bruise at the hands of another resident. Imagine what would happen if my bones weren't so strong.
Could my mother and I have some time alone, please?
Of course.
Lori exits.
I can't believe she called it a stumble.
Mom, what's going on?
I am being terrorized. This is no place for a kind-hearted mother like me.
I'm sure whoever tripped you feels just awful.
I don't think Ethel is capable of remorse. No one cares about me here, Dale. I want to go home.
Mom, think of how many people were there to help you. Lori called me a straightaway. She certainly cares for you, I promise.
She's a nurse, not my bodyguard. What happens the next time Ethel gets her hands on me?
Let's not get too ahead of ourselves, Mom.
She'll track me down and she'll find me.
I don't think you're thinking this through.
She probably already has the knitting club.
Everyone
on
here
us right
only
now.
wants the best
Take
for you.
me home, Dale. I want to go home.
I can't take you home.
Well, why not?
I sold the house, Mom.
Shelly jumps up from her bed, abandoning her act.
You what?
Your knee is feeling better now, I see.
My knee is fine, Dale. Don't play coy.
What are you trying to do here?
I just want to go home. But you were in such a rush to make a quick buck.
What? You think I kept the money? Trust me, Mom. I would never steal from you like that.
Well, where did it go then? Did it just grow wings and fly away?
I think you should sit down, Mom.
My knee is fine.
I really think...
I'm fine.
Mom, he was in debt.
Who's he? Are you giving money to your cousin again?
Dad. Dad was in debt.
You're right. I need to sit down.
I'm really sorry, Mom. He didn't want you to know. He asked me to take care of it, to take care of you. I called in a lot of favors to get you into Magnolia Meadows. And I'm keeping you here on my own time, just so I could get this all sorted out.
Why wouldn't he tell me? I don't understand.
He didn't want this to plague his last years with you. He didn't want you to see him as weak.
So this is really my new home.
I'm sorry, Mom.
End of Act 1.